All right, this is an amazing lick. I really like this one, and I'm a huge fan of Bud Powell. I think he's one of the musicians who I don't think really gets the credit he deserves. And obviously everybody knows him and loves him, but um, the stuff that he played, way back in he was playing this stuff in the late 40s, and even by today's standards, the stuff that he's playing is incredible. So I just think he was so incredibly ahead of his time, and I think a lot of people don't give him the credit he really deserves. And this is over ornithology, over the 251 in ornithology, and we start. So we're on an A minor 7 chord, and he goes. So I got my middle finger. So I'm up in 7th position. I got my middle finger on the E flat. Then I hammer onto E with my ring finger. And then it's just my middle finger on G, pointer finger on B. So we just went up. And then chromatic from D down to C. D, C sharp, C. So chromatic from the 4 down to the 3. So I would think of this as 2 above the 3rd, right? The 3rd of the A minor chord is C. The chromatic is 2 notes above, right? And then from here, the pointer finger goes down to D on the 7th fret of your 3rd string. Then the next string, middle finger on G, and then pointer finger on B. So I picked every note with the exception of that first hammer on. Now this part gets a little weird. This is a little weird fingering wise, but so it's interesting. It's like a E flat minor 7 arpeggio, but at the end he plays the 6. So it's like a combination of like a minor 7 and a minor 6 arpeggio. It starts minor 7, then goes down to the 6. I don't even know if he was thinking of that. Maybe I'm thinking into it too much, which is highly likely. But so it starts with the pointer finger on the B flat, hammer on with your pinky on the D flat, middle finger on G flat in the 2nd string, and then the ring finger goes to E flat. Now here's where the fingering gets weird. I have to move instead of using the pointer finger on the C, I have to do my middle finger just because of where we're going after it. So, sorry, middle finger. And then from there, so this is all over like the D7 chord. So you can look at that. It's kind of altered, but it's interesting because it actually has a major 7, right? It's got the C sharp or D flat, whatever you want to call it. And there could be a lot of different reasons behind that. Sometimes notes that aren't part of the scale can just work. I mean, a lot of times if you learn a lot of those solos from the Charlie Parker Omni book, there's definitely notes here and there that are questionable as far as like theoretically, but in terms of sound, it sounds great. So a lot of times, you can get away with almost anything as long as you do it with conviction and you land in a good spot. But I mean, you could potentially, because it's E flat minor 7, you could think that he's doing like that little trick, the tritone sub trick. So if you're unfamiliar with that, some people will do this when they're playing over a 2-5-1. You have A minor, which is your 2 chord. D7 would normally be the 5 chord. So tritone sub always applies to dominant 7 chords, right? So we take the D7, we go a tritone away. That makes it A flat. So that, instead of going just A minor, D7, G major, you do A minor, A flat 7, G major. But the one extra step that you can also add to that, and a lot of you guys might already know this, but instead of just playing the A flat, you pretend like this was part of a 2-5-1, right? So you take the 2 chord that would be paired with this. So if you're doing a 2-5-1 and the 5 chord is normally A flat, your 2 chord would be E flat minor. So then instead of just going, you go, right? And that would actually make sense for why he's doing an E flat minor 7 arpeggio there. So like I said, I don't know if he's doing that deliberately, but if you're a theory guy and you like just figuring weird stuff out like that, that could potentially be why there's that major 7 over the dominant chord. So, and then from there, pointer finger is going to be on A flat on the 1st string, and I have my middle finger on the C. Go back to the C. Yep. And then you go up to A. So A flat, down to C, and then up to A. and then a B. So the A and B are happening over the G major 7 chords. He's doing like the 9 and the 3rd.